Annabelle though, I think they're still gonna be a bit stumped trying to figure out what exactly does the guy want to play. With the hero pool so wide, with the Alpha, like you guys mentioned, with the Assassins available as well, those are still options they can try and go for. And Rrq, they recognize it, they ban away the link that has been used by Annabelle before, but that also means that there's still a lot of other options available.
With the Barats picked up, they ban out the Ling. Shows you just how concerned they are of Annabelle, this new rising threat in Season 13. That's the counter. That's the usual counter for the Assassins, man, the Barats.
I think they saw the Ling, I think, farming earlier, and they're like, okay, we don't want to deal with that at all. I thought for Evos, they might be targeting a bit more of the roamers. From the looks of it, with the Lo Yi, everything is fine and dandy, but you need something to enable the Lo Yi to do that damage, because on its own, the Lo Yi isn't nearly as flexible, but they go for that Yutong ban. They want to secure a strong laning phase for Fluffy.
We have a comment from a legend though, R7. Whoever wins, they are the best. The most important thing is to never give up. And it looks like Rrq aren't giving up. They go for a ban towards the gold lane now. Bruno taken away from Brands, putting him in a position. What are you gonna pick? Claude's been taken. Natan Harith banned out. Oh, Nolan for Annabelle. So they're still going for the assassin despite the Barats.
Oh man, a Lo Yi against a Nolan. When I'm on the receiving end of that, I am usually not a happy camper. The Lo Yi is just so vulnerable right here, and we've seen Annabelle perform on this Nolan. He can go for the farming routes, the aggressive, like the team fight route technically, and also for those insane flanks.
Here's the big question, where's the Arla gonna go? Last pick from Rrq. Is it gonna be Arlet XP? Arlet Roam, Barats XP, Barats Jungle. Last pick is the chip. Whoa! Double teleport for Rrq in this game. And Evos, what do they decide to go for? I was thinking actually the Brody, right? Because they already have so much kill pressure, and they've taken away the Terizla and the Minotaur. Two picks that actually do very well against the Brody. Do they want to risk it still, is my question now. Because now there's a bit more CC and there's so much maneuverability on the map. They can look for these ganks constantly to the Brody. Oh,
what?
It's a counter to the Claude. It's the Leslie.
They want to make sure.
Risky, though.
Technically, the Leslie's ult can also open up the map, right?
True. That is a factor. They're just making sure that they have the main tools of Rrq under cover though. Skylar on the Claude, it's a signature pick. He's always found ways to be successful. But now with the Minotaur, with the Leslie, there's so many ways for Evo to shut him down. And if that happens, who from Rrq will be carrying? Who can output the damage in place of Skylar?
From the looks of it though, the lineup rating does favor Rrq. If I'm not mistaken, it favored Evos in the first game. It's a risky pick, Leslie. Very vulnerable. It has its merits in the lane. But long term, we'll see if it works out. It's the debut of Leslie, ladies and gentlemen. And what better way to see a debut pick in the Classic Derby with everything hanging in the balance. Can Rrq come back from this 1-0 deficit? The answer will be found out here, ladies and gentlemen, as we get into the Land of Dawn for game number 2. The Kings of Kings against the White Tigers.
Let's take a look at the farming speed here for the Nolan against the Barats. Barats notorious for clearing quick, but that Nolan, man, this farming speed is part of the reason why he's so dangerous right now. And with the clearing that can be assisted by the Minotaur, Clockton is going to have a lot more of an aggressive time here. Look at the rest of the emblems though. Vin's going to be on the concussive blast to try and get a bit more damage, to help out with clearing, to help out in those team fights. Same can be said for Dream, so a lot of them are putting a lot of attention onto the wave management here, trying to be in the right place at the right time earlier than everyone else.
We do see an adjustment though from Skylar. He's on the Purify, so this time he is respecting the CC coming out from Evos. As we take a little bit into detail of the sub-emblems coming through for both of the teams.
Brand's going with the weapon mastery here. Really shows how confident he is in the laning phase. It might get punished though. That's a lot of damage. And that's only mainly Vin. It can be traded back. That's where Rrq needs to be careful. They have shown that they are prone to overextending before. They have to try and get that under control.
Terrified, Annabelle with the fractures. Well, the ignition's taken down. Clay falling to Annabelle on the Nolan. First blood goes to the Tigers as they look for a fight up top. Skylar with the defensive battle mirror image, just a stun down to Vin, but look at Annabelle who's rotated over. Vin flickers out. And Evos take a big trade early on.
Was that the lethal ignition?
Yeah, that was a lethal ignition being procced by Annabelle there. That's the extra bit of damage that you don't really see coming, and that's just unfortunate for Rrq, but that is Evos taking the tempo and trying to dictate what happens. Rrq immediately go towards the turtle though. Now it's going to be another big fight, and Vin once again, not level 4, later is Clay.
Detonator's welcome used up, but it's only onto the Rizla. Annabelle in the midst of it all, now able to dash away, but Fair6 secures it. Dawn gets a kill. Venus Fury onto 3, now 4-man knockup. Fluffy in the midst of it all, now can't do anything, taken out.
That's a big win for Rrq. 2-to-1 trade, they get the objective as well. Rrq, they're not going down without a fight.
It's a better adjustment from Rrq here. They fight in these clump up situations, but they allow Clay the chance to be that main damage output tool. As right now, Dreams,
a shortcut on the Dreams he goes. One last shot should do it. The final slash connecting on the Brands, but they don't commit even further. Snipes from Brands to reveal Vin's position. Clockun hovering over, but Clay's taken that shortcut up top. Annabelle in this bush, read out by Fair6. For the first time in this series, Rrq lead.
This is interesting, sorry. The audience prediction of 56 to 44%, that's so close. It just shows you how big the fan base of Evos as well, because every time we've seen a team going against Rrq, it's always an exceptional amount. But Evos' fan base is also as big. And it's insane to see that amount of support for both of these teams. But it looks like Evos...
Vin baited into the turret. No shortcut placed down, or did he place it down? It looks like he did. There's some teleports over up top. But remember, for Evos, they are very happy just letting this goal lead build up as long as it doesn't get to a point where it's crazy. Because they have a Leslie, they have that late game insurance.
That's why Rrq are the ones looking for the fights, trying to disrupt Annabelle, but he's been able to farm really, really well. Caught up in levels to Fair6, and even in the lanes. There's not a lot of ways for Rrq to really set up for a gank unless Evos overextends. So I think neutral objectives, in fact, are the only ways for Rrq to force Evos into a big fight. But look at Clay and the damage, man. That's the kind of damage that they have to play around.
Onto Fluffy they go, even a final slash committed down. Fluffy still able to evade from this initiation. Annabelle with the retribution on to his own purple buff. And that will mean that they will have to concede the second turtle of the game. Implosion, or no, rather diversion up top. Vin as well has rotated up top. Now a stun down in the shortcut. Annabelle might be caught, stunned up, and taken out. Clockun unable to react to it now. Detonator's welcome. Able to catch Dreams in the final slash, taking a killing spree away. Evo's Glory running for the hills.
They're overwhelmed right now. Brands is going to be in trouble, still going to be able to get away. But they're overwhelmed by the accessibility of the map that Rrq currently holds with the Luo Yi as well as the chip. They don't know where to look. They don't know that at every turn Rrq can be lurking, and they have fallen behind in tempo because of that. A 2,000 gold lead so far as we take a look at their equipment.
It's really just a weird situation having two global teleports on the side of your opponents. But, ooh, that's a penalty zone.
And an all into the bottom lane. The Terrified not able to connect. Dawn goes back in with the vengeance and the final slash, but still will be shut down. Clockun steals away that final slash, and Vin will not commit to this engagement. Skylar into the bottom lane. He goes, the lane swap.
Small victories for Evo's Glory here, trading it back. Look at the items though. Skylar has the Corrosion Sight, but that's about it. That's valuable utility though. If they do go for short skirmishes, the extra bit of slow can help, especially with Clay trying to land his spells to trigger the passive and get that extra bit of stun from that Luo Yi. On the other side, Kun already has the Enchanted Talisman though, so beware for which ultimate he will steal away in the middle of these fights that can make or break these small skirmishes.
We have a fun fact and a diversion play though.
That's his welcome onto the Minotaur. Dream stunned up, chain CC'd and taken out. Still able to heal for a bit. Brands, ooh, barely dodging away from the missiles that can pull him back. Brands evades, sacrificing the Minotaur.
So according to the fun fact, this is the second time that Skylar has used Claude in Mplid S13 with a 100% win rate. Previously, out of the 26 Skylar games, Claude was banned 25 times.
Wow.
So it's still sitting at 100%.
That's respect. That's also Fairsick stealing away the orange buff though, so they are very actively using this mid-game power spike, this mid-game threat where Evos don't know where they are, just go into the jungle and shut down Annabelle as much as possible.
They're changing their plans. They don't want to go for the commitment onto the neutral objective. They were looking to pick onto Skylar instead, but they weren't able to do that.
Diversion play, catches Fluffy with a death to his welcome. Though Dreams will be able to capitalize with 3-man Minions Fury. No follow-up, just Press gets brought back and out the blazing new wet to the back line by Skylar! Able to find Brands. An all-out win for RRQ as they push and march forward.
3-4-0 trade. Dreams, Fluffy, and Brands goes down. Their main damage dealer. Skylar gonna look for another one.
Annabelle trying to dash it away, but Skylar catches him. Jumps back to the battle mirror image.
That's a 4-0 for RRQ.
Just came out of nowhere, and Evos, they're lacking the damage here. Even though Brands has been trying to farm, trying to stay away from all this aggression. He's forced to get involved right there due to the mobility and the surprise factor from RRQ. And when that happens, his damage output right now doesn't compare to Skylar, who already has the golden staff and the Demon Hunter sword.
Penalty zone desperately there. Oh, almost burst it down. Fluffy, the frontliner. Can't take much punishment, not now.
That damage coming in from the Luo Yi is overwhelming, and that's what happens when the Luo Yi gets ahead. And that was kind of maybe what they were looking for in game number 1 that they couldn't achieve. Again, using the diversion play to gain access onto the map. Annabelle caught in a bad position here. Still going to be able to escape. And this is the reason why I didn't really like the Leslie pick. Sure, it has its merits in the lane. It's really good for poke, but they need a finisher, and so far they haven't been able to do that.
3-level diff, by the way, between the gold laners.
Insane.
Because it's not just the laning phase, it's also the movement around the map. Despite the fact that, of course, these teleports are being used, the diversions are used to set up for big plays, sometimes Skylar takes advantage of maybe a failed gank to really go for a far rotation to get even more farm. RRQ right now, with the control that they have, they're farming both jungles, and that is the extra bit of resource that Skylar is getting, that's getting him ahead over the opposition. And you already see, again, the 2 teleports available. I'll spot out Annabelle, but for the most part, Evos, they're just waiting for a trap here.
There's so much space, there's so much access that Evos have. You want to punish Min, they can't even do that.
Nope.
He is forced to use the flicker though.
Wow.
Very, very early. That will be the Lord taken.
For free.
And you immediately have flashbacks to the diversion play into the base. I wonder if you're going to see it here, considering that RRQ's main engagement right now is the flank, is the fact that they'll show up behind you and you're just not ready for it.
Really want to see the items now and the gold lead that Skylar has built, because this is nasty stuff. Annabelle comes in the Skylar, but he gets bursted down instead. Done! Finds the final slash to execute Annabelle. And Evos, they are forced back, not just to their tier 2s, but down to their base turrets.
And you're seeing the preemptive itemization, by the way. There's a lot of Twilight armors built up by RRQ. They know exactly what they want to do here. They do not want to allow Brands to play the game. It's a revenge match.
They're capping his damage, and the damage is not even there yet. The Lord is marching in the bottom lane, and they're going to go for the engage here.
Still so far away. That's the missiles bringing Fluffy back. That's a 3-man penalty zone, but what is it going to do? Fluffy able to flicker out, but the final slash pulls him back in now. Plays it right from Skylar again out the clock. Oh, my goodness! Clay with the execute! A triple kill picked up to combo it together with the blazing duet. Now Brand's going to be in a wave, but it will just be cleared out. Brand's still there. The shortcut portal used up to tank the turret shots. And RRQ are flanking this base turret, trading angles. Fluffy will be spawning back in 2. RRQ looking for the end, possibly here in the 11th minute of the game, where Brands tries his best to clear it out. But yes, no damage just yet for Brands. Evos will be able to see another day, but it will be a very bleak day for them.
Prolonging the inevitable here, but they do manage to defend the base. All the inhibitor turrets have been taken out, however. And the lanes are still crashing. RRQ can still push if they want to. 11k gold lead. That Lord advantage gave them a 6,000 gold benefit.
They're setting an 11k gold advantage, so definitely winning out, and they do have strong late game still if they really want to duke it out. I thought they were going to go for the end right there, but no, they're going for a diversion play. Ooh, just a surprise play here to just, you know, it's a bit of a prank to Evos. It wasn't really a decisive diversion, but now that they've used it there, they've exposed it, so Evos will be aware of it. But at the same time, now they're also gonna be overthinking. Is there gonna be a diversion inside the wall, outside the map? That is an extra layer of mind games that RRQ are using. As Annabelle, he finished the Sea Halberd there, so that will allow him to do a lot more damage to Rrq and Bin. At the same time though, they are just very, very tanky right now. Especially Rrq with the Sky Guard and helmet, he is a big man.
But can Brands get to a point where his damage is just unwavering? That can turn the game around. Like an Atan moment for Leslie.
I think it's different. Even if Brands does scale and he gets an opportunity to just delete someone, he can possibly delete Skylar, who isn't going for like a Wind of Nature. So he can absolutely get bursted down by that true damage, and the Wind of Nature technically won't even matter. But I think Skylar's way too careful for that. He's gonna be Brands is gonna be forced to use all that true damage onto the front lines, and after the initial burst, he'll be stuck just waiting around for the cooldown. Whereas for RRQ, they can just keep pummeling through, especially with the front line, especially with the Lo Yi. A prolonged fight is exactly what they want.
Their wave clear isn't that good, right, Evos? But they have actually managed the waves in a way where only one lane will crash. The other side lanes will be coming down very late. Fluffy now caught in the bad spot. Able to find a penalty zone. Now it's also good. With a final slash thrown away. And a flicker as well. Knocking up Clay. Rrq knows that it's welcome to be used up. And Annabelle going to be locked down in the back. Smacked by Vin. Brand still deals some damage. Skylar goes over to Blazing Duet. The turret is still there, but they're not going to go for it just yet. They will be able to end the game, however, as Evo's Glory fail with their composition to shut down the Claude. 1-1 in the Classic Derby.
The Leslie debut does not come to fruition today, ladies and gentlemen, as they have to concede this point and no longer can go for a 2-0 against the Kings of Kings. They will not back down. They will not surrender, forcing a game number 3 in this classical derby.
Great adjustments from RRQ, allowing them to actually make full use of that mid-game, that mid-lane Lo Yi with all the burst potential. And given the two global